Alex has two themes, and now people are gonna see like which one's better, right? I personally like both of them. I can't choose between the both. Um, I think that the A Hero Is Born. I think it's called Go Alex, A Hero Is Born by Jam Project, and I think to be honest, it's just totally different vibes, and I think for an opening, for you starting a fight, I think that one's better. And then if the fight goes longer, which is usually what would happen in Third Strike, is that Jazzy NYZ will usually be the second. At least from what I remember, it will usually be the second song that comes in once things go on for too long or something. you know. But at least that's what I remember. I have to go back and play Third Strike. Um, this got me to thinking about a lot of things. Like for example, like each each Street Fighter, and I'll get back to A Hero Is Born in a little bit. Um, but getting back to the music of each, just for a little bit, let me touch on like the music of each Street Fighter, and how it influences the vibes of each Street Fighter. Um, and part of the reason that I want to touch on that is because it reminded me of the movie, and how in the movie, the upcoming movie that's gonna release this year, I think towards the end of this year, the Street Fighter movie, they picked hip hop, very old school hip hop for the the theme of the trailer at least. Um, and I thought that for me personally, I thought that was a mistake. Okay, because if it's gonna be based, and this is just my opinion, if it's gonna be based off of the Street Fighter Two, um, you know, music that they chose, I think that one is more metal. Okay, and this is my personal opinion from what I get the vibes and how it sounds to me. I think the first Street Fighter is um like techno or like electric music, like more synth stuff in there, and just electric music in general. And then the second one is more metal, and then until Third Strike, that's when we go into the hip hop and blues, and stuff like that. And fourth, I really didn't play fourth. I think from what I can remember, I can't really remember what kind of genre it was. But what I'm trying to say is that each one of those elements, or each one of those genres, defined each, um, Street Fighter, each Street Fighter game. And in my opinion, they should have used metal, some type of metal for the Street Fighter 2 or the Street Fighter movie. And if you even remember Street Fighter 2, the animated, the motion picture or whatever, the animated one, um, they used metal from beginning to end. It was, you could hear at least the American one, the American version, which I think it's the better version, the American version, because the music, it just makes it better, and it's just metal music. That's all it is. Um, but yeah, and by the way, as a '90s kid growing up in the '90s, most of the early '90s music was metal, and not most of the. I'll take the back. I'm talking about like the cartoons, and um, for example, like Power Rangers, right? Go Power Rangers. You know, it's like most of the shows, all of them had metal. You know, and that's why when you grow up, you start to think that metal is kind of corny for the same reason that most of the kids shows back in the day were usually metal. But anyways, I don't know why I'm getting into music. I mean, this is about music because of the Jazzy NYZ and Alex, go Alex. A new hero is born, or a hero is born. I mean, and by the way, there's getting back to A Hero Is Born by Jam Project. And I remember saying, man, this sounds like a heroic theme, like way too heroic for a guy who's a bad guy. Because he's a heel now. He turned heel. And then I started remembering some of the best heels that I can remember. There's a guy, listen, I don't know. I haven't been following wrestling for a while now. I fell off. When John Cena came into the game and The Rock kind of went out of the game, I kind of fell off. I'm personally not a John Cena fan. I know a lot of people are going to hate me for that because John Cena is a big deal in wrestling. And I know he's one of the greatest wrestlers who ever did it, for most people. I have my own personal favorites. Hitman Hearns, Macho Man, and I could go on, Rey Mysterio, Ultimate Dragon. Those types of guys are the guys that I like, and The Rock. So, I mean, Hulk Hogan, I was never really a big fan of his. And John Cena, he just didn't fill those boxes that I personally like. I mean, the only big talker that I liked was Macho Man and The Rock. But most of the other guys in my list of wrestlers that I like, they're good storytellers and they're good psychological guys, and they know how to move around the ring. And that's what I prefer mostly, unless the guy's just unique in the way that he talks. And I think Macho Man and The Rock, they're so good on the mic that they're impossible to ignore, right? Like, oh yeah, like, how do you even walk away from somebody that sounds like that when they're talking? Like, but anyways, getting back to the music, sorry. I listened to the song and I'm trying to listen to the lyrics, and I'm starting to realize that Alex, because of the lyrics of the song and the stuff that he says in his opening trailer, I don't remember the teaser trailer. He says, "I'm used to being the bad guy," or whatever, and or being hated, and so he's kind of making a decision that he's gonna go heel now in order to get the fans or whatever. And it reminded me of a guy he's a new generation guy. He's a more recent guy. His name is Dirty Dom. And he's the son of Rey Mysterio and Rey Mysterio Jr. And he used to be a good guy. He used to be under the wing of Rey Mysterio, and he was bringing him up. And I think they were planning to make him the new Rey Mysterio, right, and give him the mask or whatever. That's what it seemed like the plans were, or at least that's what people believed. And but that didn't happen. He was more of an Eddie Guerrero fan, and Eddie Guerrero was his uncle, or at least that's what he called him or whatever. I don't know. And so he turned heel, and people started liking him way more. I mean, the way the crowd reacts to um to Dirty Dom, to Dominic, I mean Dominic, Dominic Guerrero, the Dominic Mysterio is kind of crazy. Okay, it sounds crazy every time he does some kind of crazy shit. The people just go wild. You know, it's pretty crazy. So what I'm trying to say, it reminds me of him. It reminds me of him being hated in the beginning for being a Nepo child. Everybody called him a Nepo kid. Everybody said, oh, you know, he's boring. Why, what is he doing here or whatever? And then when he turned heel, now all of a sudden everybody likes him, right? And you're listening to the song of Alex, and you hear the lyrics talking about go and like prove yourself or something like. I don't really remember exactly the words, but it's kind of like the people that created him are kind of feeling some type of way as well with how people feel about him, because Alex was the main character of Third Strike. I don't know if you guys remember, and people hated him. I mean, they hated his guts. Why? Because he was replacing Ryu, and to the people, that's like, bro, like, what are you doing? You know. And I feel like, in my opinion, the developers and the people that liked Alex, because the developers loved Alex, from what I know, from what I hear, the developers loved Alex, and he was amongst the people that created the character, and created Street Fighter Third Strike. He was so good that he was the best in the game. Okay, and what the hell? They keep calling me from like spam and shit. I don't know what the fuck. But anyways, he was the best in the game, right? And that's why they made him the main character, because they were able to play well with him and beat most of the other guys that played other characters. So they decided to make him the main character, right? And they were fans of wrestling as well and stuff like that. So they based him off of Hulk Hogan. And so they thought that the character was going to do well in the U.S. for the same reason. And it turns out that they disliked him, that nobody did like him. And they were like, man, what the hell? Like, this is our boy Alex, you know? Like, why are you hating on him? We all love him. And you actually hear, at least I do, those sentiments within this song. It's almost like the devs or like Nakayama-san. I don't know if Nakayama-san was around back in Third Strike. But probably not. He's a younger guy. But you could just hear them like, it's your turn to shine now. Show them that you're the best or whatever. And you know what? Fuck them. I mean, at least me personally, that's what I hear. That's the kind of like the this is your final hurrah. And you gotta win yours, man. You gotta do your thing, man. Forget about what the haters saying, you know. But it's like so heroic. It's almost like this is his last chance or something, which is, it's very touching to me, to be honest with you. Like hearing the song and then looking at the lyrics and knowing the story behind Alex, and how a lot of the developers and the testers loved Alex. And they wanted him to be the main character of the game, and nobody liked him. Like, bring Ryu back. That's what everybody was saying. Just bring Ryu back. And where's Ken? You know. But anyways, and it's just something I was thinking about. I was thinking about the music and the lyrics and stuff like that, because I'm a big music guy. I like all genres of music. To be honest, there's not a genre that I don't appreciate when it comes to music, including country and opera and all of that. So that is going to be it for today, guys.